What's up, guys? It's Caliber here.
And the Beast.
And I'm Tara.
Me and Beast went to the vape shop yesterday.
Oh, yes, we did.
What'd you get, brother?
I went out and I got the. Well, I'm going to show the sticker of it because it's easier that. The Drop Dead.
That's where Taro can say, "See, I told you so." One of them was going to get it,
That's true. She did call it.
but I got something a little bit more expensive. Believe it or not, I love the fact that he has the Drop Dead. I want one as well, but I did not get a Drop Dead. I got this Limitless version 2 box mod, 220 watts. Alright, so before we get started, because I'm going to try something different, I'm going to angle my camera down so you can see me take it out of the box. But the box is pretty generic. There's not too much on it, no information or anything like that. I haven't seen other Limitless boxes, but I'm thinking that's what they're kind of going for, is just to kind of keep it basic and not like put out these overinflated claims like some other mod manufacturer had did, like the Vaporesso Polar with their point whatever firing second. It's just, I like simple. I like a simple design. It's a little bit better. But let's go ahead and get down and dirty with it. Alright, there we go. Beast loves this mod. So here's the mod. You're not going to be able to see it that well. You can kind of see that. There we go. Thing is fucking gorgeous. Oh, is it gorgeous. I've wanted this mod for weeks, and I finally got it, so go ahead and stick this off to the side, see what else you get in here. Got a nice little doohickey here. I don't know what the fuck these are called. You basically scan it, and I believe it gives you the information about the mod, like how to use it and everything. And you also get a battery safety warning card. I love these. So it says, always use batteries suitable for your device. Never carry it loose in your pocket with other metal objects. That is something that needs to be said more than once. Do not carry loose batteries in your pocket with other metal objects. That's where a lot, and I hate touching on this, but this is mod mouth, so I'm going to dive on this real quick. That is where a lot of the problems come from with e-cigs exploding. Is a lot of people carry that stuff and their batteries in their pockets, and 9 times out of 10 they may not have a mod or anything in their pocket or an e-cigarette. It could be just carrying batteries around. That shorts out, yeah. So my batteries of choice happen to be Samsung 25Rs. That's what I prefer. That's what my vape shop sells. Now, I have looked online. I don't go over 150 watts with Samsung 25Rs. Or at least I don't anymore. I used to vape at 130 watts on a super low build, but I stopped doing that for safety reasons. Alright, I'm going to need to turn this light on. Alright, there we go. So this goes in like this. And this goes in like this. We put the door back on. By the way, there's a little bit of play in the door. I just now noticed that, but it's not as bad as I am already comparing shit. It is not as bad as my Voopoo drag. My Voopoo drag, the play in the battery door is just crazy. So, alright, so RDA, we are going to throw on top of this my stainless steel Dead Rabbit. I got the decks mixed up, so I don't know which one's which. Like, obviously I know which one's which because of the builds, but I don't know which deck came with this. Alright, put that on there. 75 watts. Let's bring it back up top. Alright, so first thing I notice off the bat with this It is a wide box mod. So we take a look at the Vupu drag. This, I actually, when I seen pictures of this mod, I thought it was going to be bigger than what it actually is, but it's tiny. I mean, I can wrap my fingers around it. This, not so much. Look at that gap. So, it is a bigger box mod. It's a little bit wider, it looks like. A little bit heavier. And that's including the batteries. This is much lighter with the batteries. But I like heavy box mods. I really do. I like a little weight with my box mods. Now that can pose a problem. The heavier it is, the harder it drops. So it can fuck up a lot of shit. But if you're not dropping your mods, you should have no problem. I mean, I can't say that we don't drop our mods, because how many times have you dropped your Pulse 80 watt?
Quite a few times.
Yeah, the accidents happen. People can make fun of me because I drop my mods and this, that, and the other. Sometimes you're not paying attention. Like, I'll be having it on the desk, and I'll go to grab my iPhone cable, plug my iPhone up to charge it, and I'll pull the mod over. The mod falls on the ground. Yeah, it scuffs up the paint, but it's not a big issue to me, because then that tells me that my mods have survived accidents. I mean, take a look at my T-Priv. I drop that thing in fucking water and it still works. It's a solid mod. If you guys are looking for a decent smoke mod, the T-Priv is the way to go. It's inexpensive. To me, it's inexpensive. It wasn't that expensive. If you buy the mod by itself, it's not expensive. I don't know how much the kit is. The price could have came down, but yeah. But back onto this. So, this has a wattage range of... I don't know what the wattage range is on this. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Alright. Alright, so this is going to take a little while. We're going to figure this out. Now, I will talk a little bit more about this mod here in a second. So it has a wattage range from 10 watts all the way up to 220. Let me get back up to my 75, because that's where I like vaping this. Let's see. Ooh, too high. Not 79. Whoa. Alright, so it does do an M1. It actually, if you hold the button down, it goes from 0.1 increments all the way to 1 increment measurements. So it speeds up. And I think that's the problem. That was the problem with the first batch of these, is the scrolling was a little too slow. But it does look like it is a lot faster. Now, there is one thing you will notice that's not on this mod. Can you guess what it is, Beast?
Oh, no.
No charging or upgrading port. It's fixed firmware.
Ah.
But with something like this, you don't need to upgrade the firmware, because the way this works, it's not like the Vapor SO Polar or any other variable wattage mod. This is a variable wattage mod, but it's done in the presets of memory. So if you have 3 different RDAs that you would use on this, so you can say you can have the first one at, for me it's 75 watts, and we'll do 50 watts for some lower ohm builds. So 55, and then say, whoops, hit the wrong button. And we could do it actually does take a while. It does seem like it's fast, but not that fast. 94 for a higher resistant build. Literally, I've learned the way Ohm's law works now. lower resistant builds with less wraps, you can have a lower wattage. Most cases. Obviously, there is going to be some voltage that is needed sometimes. Like obviously, I'm not gonna run a dual coil RDA say on the Pulse just because it's a single battery, but for lower resistant builds, I can run those on dual battery mods and get a better vape at a lower wattage and better battery life overall. Just because the two batteries are there. But I don't want to vape this at 90 watts, so we are going to go to memory 1, which is set up for my 75 watts on this Dead Rabbit. The resistance is reading 0.14. I'll show you. There's also another feature to this. You have a hit mode. This is what I call a hit mode. Pretty much every mod that I've looked at has it for the most part. Like the T-Prith has it. Some other mods along those lines have it. I believe the Pulse has it as well. It's just branded something different. This is also branded something different. But basically what that does is allow you to change the ramp up of your device. Or change the ramp up of your coils. So I'm going to run through those real quick. Get some juice on here. So this is 75 watts. So we're going to forgot how to do this. Alright, I gotta swap batteries out. Beast, go ahead and talk about the Drop Dead.
Yeah, absolute. Well, I got it because it's obviously the hype's out there. Number 2, I'm a big fan of Vape Heathen. I love the Dead Rabbit originally. Packaging's pretty nice. I mean, like it's still kind of like your traditional, you know, Dead Rabbit packaging from Hell Vape going on there. Inside you, instead of being an insert that kind of does like a little half cover thing, there's actually this thing is actually a box now. And inside you'll find obviously your little bag of goodies. You have like I've already changed mine over to Squonk pen, but right now my normal pin's in there. You got a frosted drip tip. You got an adapter for 510. You have your rings, and you have some replacement grub screws. These ones actually do not, from what it looks like, it doesn't turn it into your traditional hex heads. They come pre-installed with the flathead. This actually turns it into Phillips head, which is kind of weird. It's a little different. What can I say about the actual RDA itself? I don't know. I think one of the best features is for some reason that drip tip with that beauty ring. There's something about that. It's got the Hell Vape in there. Something about that just makes it all nice and classy. And I got it in the gunmetal. Well, basically I could say is hype aside and everything else. I mean, do I like the device or the RDA? Yeah, I do. But I like it just as much, if not the same, as my Dead Rabbit. I honestly, when I'm vaping on this, I really don't have a difference in vaping feel, that is. Now, functionality-wise, there's some nice little key things, like they have a notch. You can kind of see right here, the little knob thing right there. And it sets in there. You can kind of see where the cutouts are right there. And that sets on there. And then you have like your adjustable airflow and all that jazz, which is really nice. But in the same aspect, the same aspect. Air with the airflow how it is, and the drop being so closely resembling the Dead Rabbit and originally anyway, with it just having the same build deck as the drop, I don't really feel a difference in the vape feel when you're vaping on it. Again, like I said, if you want to tweak it or whatever, you can tweak it a little bit. It's kind of like just like a little fine tooth comb alterations that were made, but in a sense, is it a good RDA? Oh yeah, absolutely. If you are a fan of it, if you want to pick it up for that reason, go ahead. That's what I did. If you want to pick it up because you're just kind of getting into RDAs, yeah, go ahead and pick that up. It's kind of it's it's new
Not
on
to
the market.
mention,
It keeps you in the
I
thing.
like the Dead Rabbit, but the one thing you did mention is the fact that the Drop Dead does have bigger pulse holes than what the Dead Rabbit does.
Oh yeah, the drop build wise is easier to build with, I think, because of the fact of one. Well, I mean, it's pros and cons, really. I mean, like when you're comparing the two, the Dead Rabbit versus the original drop. How do I put this? It's like one picks up where the other one leaves off at every turn. They're both great devices. Not saying that any one is bad, because I like both of them, in respects of what I'm seeing of them and what I've used of either one of them. It's easy. The holes are bigger for the drop, right? So you can fit a bigger wire or build in there, but then you have to worry about, is your coil wide enough? Because then you have to put in that construct, because it has a further spacing across. So is that build going to be able to kind of stretch its way across that long, for 24 millimeters, basically, because it goes on the outside of the ring. And the other one is the Dead Rabbit can't fit as big as a build in there, but it is a little easier to put a build in it only because it's closer together, so you don't have to worry about stretching out your builds.
Yeah.
So
I think the problem I would have is because I typically like doing lesser wraps, because I like going low, and I like vaping at lower wattages, so less wraps really helps me out with that. I don't know how I'd be able to build something like, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but something that small in there.
Right, it would be literally, the leads would be stretched out for it, and that's the issue. That was the issue with the drop initially. That's where the Dead Rabbit picked it up. So I mean, but again, if you like beefier builds, it's doable on both, and that's the thing when you're talking about both of them. It's really hard to kind of pinpoint their downfalls, because I get their combination here. They're trying to put all the pros of both put into one, and there's no negativity is what it's supposed to be. But again, you're using the same exact deck as the drop, so I mean, there's no change in the build quality of a drop.
All right, so I want to continue on more with that here in a second, but I figured out what I was doing wrong. All right, okay. So here's soft. See how slow that ramp up is? If we go to standard, and this is powerful. So that's pretty much the differences of them. I prefer to be at standard just because it's too hard of a hit for me. I like to give my lungs a little prep time, if you know what I mean. Now, here's the issue with the Dead Rabbit, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people hated the fact of this. You can't purge it worth the shit. I don't know if that's changed with the Drop Dead, or how that actually works, but you can't purge the Dead Rabbit. I mean, you can. If I vape like this, it burns my fucking cheek off. If I vape like this, one's pointing up right here, and it fucking burns my eyebrows off. So the only time you should ever really purge is when you're doing a deep throat hit, which I don't recommend on 6 milligrams of nicotine. Especially not at that low of resistance, since you're probably thinking to yourself, 0.14, 6 milligrams of nicotine, you gonna die. No, I know how to take my hits, and I know not to do it as much. Learned my lesson there. But yeah, no. The problem, alright, so there's pros and cons to both the Dead Rabbit and the Drop RDA. The pros to the Drop was the build deck, the way it was set up, how big the post holes are, if you want to call them that. The con to the Drop RDA was the fact that you couldn't squonk it like you could the Dead Rabbit. And that's where the Dead Rabbit kind of took the lead in squonking. It's because of the high set airflow. It means you can literally drown those coils in juice and not have it leak out on you. So with the Drop Dead, it keeps the drop deck, but eliminates the flooding by utilizing pretty much Dead Rabbit style airflow. The reason I say style is because obviously it's not slits like this. It's not slits, but it's individual little squares. If that makes any sense. So, I gave a good thought. Me and Beast were talking. I'm not going to harp on the Drop Dead as soon as I shouldn't have harped on it the way I did, but I will end up getting it, and I will use it, and I'll give my final thoughts from there, or my official thoughts. I kind of jumped the gun on this one. I was talking about a product before I actually had it in hand. So
yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. Live and learn from my mistakes. So, but no, definitely the Drop Dead eliminates the over squonking of the drop deck, so it doesn't utilize the drop air holes. That would suck if it used that the T air hole. Be like, then what was the point?
Right.
But I'm glad that Heathens went the way he did.
Yeah. I think it's a gorgeous RDA. I mean, like, RDA wise, it's a beautiful RDA. Even the deck it's a nice deck. Even with the notches, and you can kind of like tilt it just right if you need to kind of get better flavor out of it. You can tweak it or whatever within the notches.
Here's another way the drop design kind of success for the most part is because the drop did have the locking cap.
Yeah.
So you could adjust your airflow. No offense, Heathen. You really should have done a locking system on the Dead Rabbit, because trying to adjust your airflow ain't happening. Unless you have a pair of fucking vice grips. Yeah, no, it's not happening. Let's see if I can pop it out of here. Nope, ain't going nowheres. Nope. It could be because the O-ring probably dried up in there, and it's probably sticking, but I like the Dead Rabbit nonetheless. Even through all its cons, it still has a pretty good amount of pros. Honestly, I would recommend the Drop Dead if you didn't if you've seen both of them, but you wanted to try both of them, but you didn't really have the money to get both of them. The Drop Dead is really good. Way to go.
Oh yeah, Drop Dead's. I like I said, you know, if you're getting it because you're a fan, more power to you. If you're getting it because, you know, it's an RDA that you just want to have, it's a good way to go. I mean, either or, you know, whatever your intentions are, it's a good RDA to have. Really, it is.
But I think we said all we had to say. Anyways,
Yeah.
guys, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to S13 underscore the Beast. And don't forget to subscribe to Tarot Storm. Anyways, guys, this is Storm Family signing out.